Since I already had the thoughts of the first two, which is the exact same question I was asked whether an active judge in this case, Philomena Mwilu, is immune to criminal charges.
You know, there is the law, and there are traditions. Unless something so outrageous, like finding somebody dead in a judge's house or whatever it is, or some kind of a very outrageous thing that is there, and there's a public outcry, you cannot go around messing with the judiciary in the manner that we're doing right now. When you really want to remove somebody in the judiciary because of misconduct, there's a process. The process is laid out there. Although there's the possibility of somebody coming up with an outrageous, what do you call, a statement, saying, why would a sitting judge be different from the ordinary citizens in the country out there who can also be taken in for criminal offenses? To begin with, this thing is not of a criminal nature. It's not of a criminal nature. This is a civil matter. This is a transaction. This is a loan the lady took. And it's not a matter that essentially the state can butt into it. It's a matter between the parties that were involved. Imperial Bank and the lady herself. So it is flimsy, it is a witch hunt, it is ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I can tell you one thing. So would you now go out there and say, let's take the president to court, there's a matter in there. Although there's a law that says the president cannot be taken in for a civil or criminal matters for as long as it is in office, but there's another law that says nobody's above the law. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then nobody is supposed to be technically above the law.
Right.
It's a constitutional provision.
Right.
So you can't again say, yeah, this constitutional provision is what we are going to cherry pick and go and use that now and say that, no, as he is an ordinary person, he cannot be any better than an ordinary person out there in the streets. Why should he have a special status? You understand my point?
Right.
So the manner in which this thing is being prosecuted, the manner the way it's being handled, sidestepping institutions, important institutions like the JSC, the Judicial Service Commission, and just going for her like a common criminal out there on a matter that essentially she's not being. It's not like she had a boyfriend and the boyfriend was found dead in her house. You know what I mean? And somebody has murdered her.
Right, but Honorable Malim, take a look at it from this perspective, right? Let's come down to the common man in Kenya. If it was a Kenyan, someone who doesn't have a title as DCJ, do you think that would be the same thing? Which leads me to my next question, whether it would be quite discriminatory if they treated Mwilu differently from a common Kenyan because of the seat that she holds.
Because of the nature of the seat that you hold, you have to be treated in the manner prescribed, in the manner by tradition, what do you call it, done. For you to be, you cannot be hauled out there as the Chief Justice from your office is there and be taken to a police station because somebody has made a complaint against you, which is a very flimsy thing. In any case, I'm telling you, you can't. You have to treat people in the traditions and the way prescribed by law. And you have to respect those institutions. It's not Mwilu. She is the DCJ, for God's sake, the Supreme Court of Kenya, which is a very big institution up there. By the time you go for such a person, you're going for the entire judiciary, you must have your facts very well laid out. You must have followed a process that is essentially constitutional, and that process must have eventually, come up with something. But right now, she's being held like, a common criminal out there or a common suspect out there, which is wrong for your information, which is very, very wrong. Because then we will end up getting presidents being hauled into court, into such things, deputy presidents, ministers, you know what I mean? Anybody who's going to be in power and doesn't like the other person will say, okay, this man, like the way I can't remember one of those ministers or MPs who was put in because his girlfriend made a statement against him, or Waruru Kanja, who was found with $1. $1 in somewhere, and that dollar must have been planted by somebody. So we for God's sake, we are not in some kind of a country that is, we're not in the jungle.
But you're the same man who has said that no Kenyan is above the law.
That's what that is exactly the thing. Those are now the differentials. You have to, let me tell you one thing. Right. We have institutions, we have arms of the government, we have offices that are held by people. All those people have got to be respected. Even an ordinary policeman, if you want to arrest him and haul him into the court, you must first of all write to the Director of Public Prosecution, and that green light must be given.
Okay.
If he's a government civil servant, Similar thing has got to be done also. There's a complaint against the government civil servant. Go through a process, a very silent process, and let the past somebody up there decide, no, this is a witch hunt. It has nothing to do, they have no merits in this thing. And I'm talking about a constable. Right. Now, you do what you have done right now to DCJ, and tomorrow you do it to the Chief Justice. And then when they get out of office, the people who are in office right now, somebody else comes in there and holds a former president into court the way he wants. Or the president decides the deputy president is going to be held into court. I mean, for God's sake, we want to uphold the law. We want to have certain, but then there are ways in which such things are handled. And
speaking of certain ways that things are handled, whether Article 168 of the Kenyan Constitution shows how the removal of a judge is supposed to take place. A DPP has no